Good morning, my friends. This is Deepak. Once again, good morning. I'm very happy to join you again today to continue our discussion on the spiritual solutions to existential anxiety, suffering, and the fear of death. I believe to some extent that is a pandemic right now. Existential anxiety, suffering, emotional and psychological, and the fear of death. So this is part of a series, and I'm going to continue with the series. I've also heard from you that you're interested in a conversation on the meaning of death, and I promise I will engage in that. The meaning of death is tied up with the meaning of birth and life, of course. Life contains birth and death. Birth makes death possible, and death makes birth possible. But today, we are not going to go there. Ultimately, by the way, that is the ultimate healing, to transcend all fear by transcending the fear of death, by understanding the nature of death. So I will definitely address that. But in the meanwhile, I want to continue on this series that I've started, which is understanding the opposite of existential anxiety. And what is the opposite of existential anxiety? It's existential joy. It's existential surprise. It's existential bewilderment. It's existential wonder. So when you take existence for granted, and when you suddenly realize that you cannot take it for granted, then you experience fear. But if you have never taken existence for granted, if you've always been grateful and surprised and bewildered and awestruck and full of wonder for your existence, then you will have no existential anxiety, because you will embrace the mystery of existence, abide in the mystery of existence, and know that existence is eternal. Only its symbolic representations are not. But today, actually, I want to go deep into the nature of this amazing mystery of existence. And I started by saying that I am is cradled in the rhythms of the universe, cradled in the rhythms of the universe, and is the source of synchronicity, grace, spontaneous fulfillment of desire, and ultimately all healing. So once again, I am is cradled in the rhythms of the universe, is the source of synchronicity, or what we call good luck, or meaningful coincidences, synchronicity, but also, as a result of that, what spiritual traditions call the state of grace, and what spiritual traditions also call ultimate healing. Okay, so let's discuss that. We've all experienced coincidences, but what we don't realize is that actually coincidence means coinciding. Synchronicity means many events all occurring at the same time, but coinciding with each other in response to a subtle intention, or around a meaning or around purpose. And then somehow events conspire and correlate with each other in response to the organizing power of that intention. And of course, I've spoken about that too many times. So you've all experienced coincidences. You're thinking of someone, they call you on the phone, you have a desire for chocolate ice cream, and somebody shows up with chocolate ice cream etc., etc. You have a desire for healing, and then your biology orchestrates that intention. So why do some people have good luck all the time and some people not so much? And having been a student of this from the Vedantic perspective and from the non-dual traditions of the world, all I can say is the synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, non-local correlation, coinciding is the nature of existence. Existence is the correlation of every activity in the ecosystem of existence, and existence is an ecosystem. Even the cells of your body are ecosystems. The organelles of your body are ecosystems. The activities of your genes, DNA, are activities of an ecosystem. The organs of the body are part of the ecosystem that we call the body. And the body is part of the ecosystem that we call the biosphere. The biosphere contains the atmosphere too. So, but biosphere is more than the atmosphere. It's the entire ecological interdependence of life. It's the biological interdependence, or we might say even inseparability of life. In many ways, I think of the Buddha as the first ecologist, because as he was sitting under a tree, looking at flowers and buds and leaves, he saw the whole universe. He saw that the universe was the entire universe was represented in every leaf, in every flower, in every bud, in every branch of the tree. He's known for his famous silent sermon where he held a flower, and Ananda, his favorite disciple, looked at the flower and experienced rainbows and sunshine and earth and water and the infinite void and the stars and galaxies, all frozen in the appearance of that flower. And with that, he came up with one of the big principles of Buddhist philosophy, which is interdependence, interbeingness. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, we are interbeings that interarise in the inter-isness. And everything is synchronistic. Now, I was looking at my notes at some of the examples of synchronicity, and maybe I can find them, maybe I can find them, but you know, when you see and look at nature and observe nature, you'll find examples of synchronicity. Birds flying together in one formation, schools of fish moving together, the croaking of frogs at night, or the sound of crickets, or fireflies flashing, human menstrual cycles coinciding. But we don't have to look far. We can just look at any cell in our body, any organ in our body. And it is the conspiracy of the total universe. So when we look at synchronicity, what do we see? What are the various characteristics of asynchronicity? And I'm, again, looking at some of my notes from a long time ago when I was writing The Spontaneous Fulfillment of Desire. Maybe I can find them, but maybe I can't right now. Never mind, I don't need to look at the notes. So here are some of the characteristics of a synchronistic experience. Number one, it is a conspiracy of improbable events or seemingly improbable events. Number two, the improbable events are correlated around meaning, purpose, intention, subtle or not. Number three, synchronicity is orchestrated in a domain outside of space-time and causality, which is the true self, beyond the boundaries of ego. Number four, when we experience synchronicity, we move to higher levels of awareness, like soul consciousness, cosmic consciousness, divine consciousness, unity consciousness. I've talked elsewhere about this, but we can speak more later. Number 5, there's an intention involved, always, subtle or not so subtle. Okay, every activity is preceded by intention, including raising my hand or speaking to you or whatever. So intention is involved. Number 6, once you start experiencing synchronicities, they accelerate and you experience more of them, and your life begins to transform from separation to unity. Number 7, as a result of this, you feel lots of joy and emotional fulfillment. Number 8, you become clear about the meaning and purpose of your existence. And number 9, you realize that your inner world of thoughts, feelings, emotions, desires, memories, insights, inspiration, creativity, vision, higher calling, and your outer world of so-called space-time events in the theater of space-time and causality, that they're actually modifications and symbolic expressions of your own self. The mind is the subjective experience of self, the body and the world are the objective experience of self. So how can we accelerate this experience of synchronicity? So here are some pointers. Number 1, see the world as a mirror of yourself. You can't see yourself other than a mirror, but actually the bigger mirror is the world. Every situation, every circumstance, every event, every relationship mirrors what's happening in your own consciousness as the movement of consciousness. Number 2, recognize that everything is inseparable from everything else, not just interdependent, it's inseparable. Look at this COVID-19 virus, one virus, and the whole economy of the world is affected. The health of the world is affected. The immune system of the world is affected. Inflammation in the world, not only in our body, but in our behavior, is affected. War, violence, fear, greed, all that is coming out because of a bit of genetic information called RNA in a virus that disrupts the genetic information in your body. And what we call life is the interdependence of all these genetic pieces of information in an ecosystem of existence, where actually the exchange of genetic information has been part of our evolution. But when the ecosystem is disrupted for whatever reason, and the ecosystem includes everything, the atmosphere, the biosphere, social structures, personal relationships, professional engagements, businesses, society, weather patterns, mass migrations, rapid transportation, increased volume of transfer of goods from one place to another, international trade, all of that is affected by one piece of genetic information that has disrupted the ecosystem of relationships at a very fundamental level, at the fundamental level of gene expression. Now, there's a whole host of reasons we can look at that and see that the best approach actually to healing is to understand even the viral transmission in the terms of a holistic framework. But right now we're not discussing that. What we're discussing is the mechanics of synchronicity and how you can accelerate it. So see the world as a mirror, recognize that everything is inseparable from everything else. See that in fact, what we call the universe is a projection of our consciousness as sensations, images, perceptions, thoughts, feelings. All that is projecting as both the universe and the body. So recognize that mind, body, universe are symbolic representations of the condition or state of the self. Recognize that existence is inherently joyful and curious and full of wonder and mystery. And mystery. What's the mystery? You are the mystery. Existence is the mystery. But even more mysterious is the awareness of existence, because without the awareness of existence is no knowing of existence. So what is existence? Existence is awareness of existence. The two are inseparable. What is awareness? It's the true self. It's not the mind, it's not the intellect, it's not the ego, it's not the body, it's not perceptual activity, which we call the physical world. Those are all symbolic representations of the true self. The true self, existence, awareness of existence, and inseparability of existence is who we are. That's our true identity. And when we sink into our true identity, we don't have to become our true identity. You can't go to where you already are. You can't move and stand in where you already are. And where you already are is here and now. This experience. And this experience is the totality of the universe. So I'm going to give you a few ideas to play with today to accelerate the experience of joy, wonder, curiosity, synchronicity, grace, and healing, both personal and collective. First intention here, I am the universe. You are the universe. You as pure consciousness and the universe are not separate. Same thing. Number two, my spirit is a field of awareness that connects everything with everything else instantly. Number three, I don't exist in the universe universe exists in me. I don't exist in the mind exists in me. I don't exist in the body exists in me. And who is me? I am existence, recycling itself and evolving to higher levels of creativity and expression and vision. So the universe exists in me. I'm reminded of the phrase in the Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna represents here both the masculine and the feminine in many ways. And behind me, if you see the goddess Dakini, that's divine feminine. Krishna is both divine feminine and masculine. So there's a phrase attributed to Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita: curving back within myself, I create again and again. Prakratim swam vashtabhai vishrajami puna puna. Prakratim swam vashtabhai vishrajami puna puna. Curving back within myself, I create again and again. The world is my mirror. I am the infinite being projecting a particular point of view. We are all points of view in an infinite non-local being, and my non-local self is inseparable from all that exists. So if you can remember these principles, they can all be coded today in one mantra. So I'll give you the long version of the mantra. Ritam Bhara Pragya. Ritam is the order, the rhythms, the seasons of the universe. You know, those rhythms are operating in our own body right now as circadian rhythms, the cycle of day and night, as seasonal rhythms, as tidal rhythms, gravitational rhythms, as lunar rhythms. The entire universe operates through rhythm, music, symphony, universe, one song. So Ritam is the Sanskrit word, which is the order of the universe, the harmony of the universe. Bhara, full of pragya, my consciousness is permeated, pervaded, pregnant with infinite possibilities that exists in the rhythms of the universe. Ritam Bhara Pragya. That's the long version of the mantra. Shorter version could be Ritam. Ritam, spelled R-I-T-A-M. Ritam. Or if you want, the English word, rhythm. Doesn't matter. Let that be the mantra for today. Rhythm means I, as existence, are in alignment with the elements and forces of the universe. And therefore, I'm free. I'm free from dis-ease. Dis-ease leads to, ultimately, disease. Mental, psychological, perceptual anxiety, leading to everything else. Anxiety and fear leads to greed, leads to suffering, leads to exploitation, leads to, the other being the enemy when the other and you are inseparable anyway. So right now, the pandemic is reminding us of something. We need to cure not only the physical transmission and decrease the propagation of the virus, but once infected, we need to optimize our well-being at every level: physical, emotional, spiritual, environmental. At another level, we need to also understand the deeper reality and coexistence of all life. And we have to transcend to a new identity that can see that. And once that new identity can see that, there is no fear. No fear of anything, because the unknown has become known to you. And what is the unknown? It's your own self. Not your mind, not your body, not the changing perceptual experiences and sensations or images. It's your true self. And once you know your true self, as we've said so many times before, you're holy and you're healed. So that's really ultimate healing. I will explore this more with you if you want, because there is no reductionist cure for healing. There is no cure for healing. Temporary measures, which are very useful in acute situations. Right now, the temporary measure should be, by the way, minimizing the transmission and maximizing immune capacity, minimizing inflammation, minimizing stress, making conscious decisions and choices, whether they're financial or for our well-being in terms of the qualities of experience. And that's all we have, by the way, the qualities of experience. Everything we experience is a quality of awareness. Everything we experience, whether it's a sensation, perception, image, feeling, thought, what we call an object, before we can call it an object, it is an experience. And where's the experience happening? In consciousness. Where's the experience of the body happening? In consciousness. Where's the experience of those colors, paintings, plants happening? In consciousness. Where's the experience of the universe happening? In consciousness. So if you don't know yourself, how can you know the universe? So let's all move in the direction internally of understanding ourselves as an ecology of the universe, as the inseparability of all that exists. Just that one idea, Ritam Bhara Pragya. And then everything happens spontaneously. Healing happens spontaneously. Evolution never stops. Everything recycles. matter, energy, information, consciousness, but consciousness not only recycles, it evolves. And as a result, identity also evolves. And this is the opportunity we have to reflect on our identity, reflect on our existence, not take it for granted, and being grateful for existence. So once again, the mantra for today is Ritam Bhara Pragya. Here's a poem of gratitude from the great seer, rishi, teacher, guru Rabindranath Tagore. And I end with this poem. Please listen very carefully, it's beautiful. You have made me endless, such is your pleasure. This frail vessel you empty again and again and fill it ever with fresh life. This little flute of a reed you have carried over hills and dales, and you have breathed through it melodies eternally new. At the immortal touch of your hands, my little heart loses its limits in joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Your infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass, and still you pour, and still there is room to fill. That, my dear friends, is gratitude for existence. Gratitude is holy. Gratitude heals as well. So today, Ritam Bhara Pragya.